Hi, in this video I'll show you how you can make a 12 volts to 240 volts AC inverter for a cold cathode fluorescent lamp or any other 240 AC appliance which can operate at high frequency. For the power supply you need a 12 volts battery. There's an input decoupling capacitor rated at least to 20 microfarads and 25 volts. This inductor here eliminates the high frequency and the higher voltage AC on the switching primary side from interfering with the battery. The inductance is to 20 microhenries, but any from about 85 to 30 microhenries will work just fine. For the transistors, you can use the TIP122 NPN transistors. Just use any pair that can handle 5 amperes and above. The base resistors, they are 1.5 kilo ohms each. Any from 1 kilo ohms to 2.2 kilo ohms will work just fine. The first primary wide, it's 8 turns on each side. It has a center tap. The power supply from the inductor goes to the center tap, and each end of the primary winding you connect a capacitor, and it's connected to the respective connector of each transistor. The feedback winding is 3 turns, and it goes to the bases of each transistor. Also, although it indicates there's a continuation here, omit this part when winding, so there should be 3 independent windings. The turns on the secondary side, they are 120 turns. The transformation ratio should be about 1:15. This is because when the load is connected, there will be a slight drop on the secondary side. That the higher transformation ratio ensures that there is a continuous 40 volts AC here. And also, if it's more than 40, the fluorescent lamp will work just fine. The transformer is a ferrite cone transformer, which is suitable for high frequency switching. So the working of the inverter is based on the principle that not 2 transistors are exactly the same. One of the transistors will turn on first. Let's say if Q1 turns on, there will be a virtual ground at this point, and so current will flow through this primary winding through Q1 and to ground. So the feedback winding ensures that there is positive feedback to the base of Q1 and negative feedback to the base of Q2. So this ensures that Q2 fully turns on and conducts heavily while Q2 is fully turned off. So once current saturates in this primary winding, it will begin collapsing, and so this will induce negative feedback on the base of Q1 and positive feedback on Q2. So Q1 will turn off very fast and Q2 will immediately turn on. Current will flow through the other half of the primary winding through Q2 and to ground. The capacitor C2 ensures that there's a resonance across the primary winding. If you look at it, it's connected across the entire primary winding, so it will resonate, and the voltage at the entire primary winding will be about pi times the input voltage. So you have about 27 volts AC RMS across the capacitor, and this will be transferred to the secondary side depending on the transformation ratio if there's no load attached. But as I have said, if there's a load, the voltage on the secondary side will drop a little bit. The feedback winding does not have any polarity, since it will continually ensure that at no time will any of the 2 transistors conduct at the same time. The PCB looks as shown. So here you have the input battery, with the input capacitor, the inductor, the 2 transistors, the resistors, the primary resonant capacitor. This is the primary winding and the feedback winding here, and this is the secondary side. If you have interest in the 3D visualization in Bluetooth as such, this is where the ferrite transformer goes. This is the input, and this is high voltage, high frequency AC output. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon to get notified immediately when I upload new videos. Have a nice time. See you in the next episode.